Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters. This is Newcastle Fast FM, and you're tuned in to the show From Darkness to Light, which is sponsored by Richard McLeod. Alhamdulillah, we're going to have a very good, beneficial show today, inshallah. So far this week, we've had a number of different guests on. On Monday, I was joined by brother Sergio, who is a revert from Spain, who shared us his experiences. Then I was joined by brother Kiri, who is a convert from London, whose family is originally from Cyprus. We talked about a number of beneficial topics. On Wednesday, I touched upon some of the simple life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And yesterday, I was joined by my wife, in which we talked about Islam and culture. But today's show, alhamdulillah, I'm joined by a very special guest, which is my beloved brother Kim. Assalamu alaikum, Kim.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How you doing, man?
Inshallah, I hope you find it beneficial.
Inshallah, I'm sure the guests are going to be excited. How is your Ramadan going?
Alhamdulillah, all is well. Compared to a lot of people, I'm very fortunate. Definitely different to last year. The atmosphere, going to the masjid, travel to see friends and family. But alhamdulillah, we can still talk to each other through live. All the knowledge is now online.
Yeah, there's been a lot more activity, a lot more, I guess, lessons to attend and videos to watch. Are you still going to work daily?
Yes. I'm still going to work. The company that I work for, they are involved with helping the government with vaccine and ventilators.
Wow. Okay.
Not myself directly.
Yeah, but obviously you'll be supporting them in that. Cool, awesome. So Ken, I brought you on the show today to maybe obviously tell us a bit about your journey to Islam, tell us a bit about maybe your experiences of being a Muslim. But before that, I guess maybe tell us a bit about yourself, your name, where you're from, what do you do,
Okay.
things like that.
My name is Kin Ho. I originally come from Hong Kong. Both of my parents I came from a tiny fisherman villages.
Okay, wow.
I grew up there for 11 years. So
Okay, yeah, so you were there for
just 11 years, just most of my childhood.
Do you remember it quite vividly?
I remember quite vividly. Yeah, absolutely. And most of my family is still there now.
Okay, so when you were 11, you then moved to the UK?
Yeah, 11. I moved to the UK, and then my family and I moved into a little town called Blythe.
Okay, which is north of Newcastle in the northeast of England.
Yeah, just 20 minutes north of Newcastle.
Wow. How was that as an experience? Is it challenging, or did you know much English before coming, or did you have to learn?
A little bit, and broken as well. And so
Okay.
coming to here is a big change. Definitely.
So you grew up in Blythe, like you went to school in Blythe?
Yeah. So I've been told this, but I went to I've been to middle school in Blythe, which I was told that I'm old using the word middle school.
Wait, is that secondary school?
Yeah.
I've never heard. It's a middle school. I think it's American. I think. I don't know.
Is it? So, for what I know, I went through middle school there and then high school.
I don't know. I think middle school is year 7 to year 9, maybe, and then high school is year 10 and 11.
So, middle school, yeah, 7 up to 8.
Okay.
No, sorry, or
I don't
5
know.
up to 8. I can't remember now. Subhanallah, it's
Okay,
been
cool.
so
So
long.
you grew up in Blythe.
Yeah,
I assume you went to college or sixth form,
yeah, in
and
Blythe as well.
then you went to university, if I'm correct?
Yeah, I went to Teesside University.
Which
So
is the
with
wonderful city of Middlesbrough, my hometown.
wonderful city of Middlesbrough, which is where I'm living now.
But how was that? What did you study at Teesside University?
I study chemistry.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah.
You enjoy that? Was that a passion of yours, or you thought you were good
Yeah.
at it?
I think I'm good at it. I found the passion of science when during high school,
Hmm.
and then since then I just pursued it. And after university, alhamdulillah, became a research scientist.
Cool. And how have you found that sort of work? You enjoy it? I think you're quite passionate about it, correct?
Yeah, there's never a dull day at work. It's always different, applying the problems into many different things. I'm involved with making electrical batteries for cars, the research
Wow.
into it. The project I'm on now is uh, about fertilizer, and I've done something with chocolate,
It's very
something with
diverse, different
yeah,
things.
yeah, many different projects. Yeah, alhamdulillah, it's good.
Okay. So, I guess how did you find out about Islam, or how old are you, by the way?
Inshallah, 28 this year.
So you became Muslim how long ago was it?
Three, 3 years. I think in November it will be 3 years, inshallah.
Okay, 3 years. So what sort? So you would have been around about 25, I guess, 24.
Yeah, yeah,
I guess what's the story that led up to you wanting to find out more about Islam and things like that?
yeah. So where I grew up, in in Hong Kong, my family background, they're Christian. Some Christian, some idol worship, and also some ancestral worship, and also
Uh-huh.
some belief in superstitions as well. And then,
So your family has like quite a diverse,
yeah, quite a
some
diverse
Christian, some I guess the cultural religion of Hong Kong. Does it have a particular name or anything, or is
of
it just in like their beliefs? Does it have a name as a religion, or is it just certain belief systems?
I don't know to my knowledge. Yeah.
Okay.
So I would go to the church with my grandma when I was in Hong Kong, and then also went to the church as well here up to the age of 13. Yeah. The so before Islam, I've never really interacted with Muslim at all, and I think uh, the only information or interaction is pretty much the with the media, and that has
Okay. Like positive.
never been positive until I went to university where the environment is more diverse. That's when I meet Muslim. I think the first in ever interaction is met a friend through badminton club. I think
Okay.
his name is Osman. He was an international student from Hong Kong,
Okay.
and
All right.
and
So did he
mashallah,
speak
his
with? Did he speak Cantonese, or he was?
yeah, mashallah, his mind blowing when he spoke Cantonese. It was better than me.
Wow.
And but at the time,
So is he? Well, ethnically, where was he from? Like, where
I
was his
think
family from? Or
Pakistani.
okay, yeah, but they were living in
Pakistan,
Hong Kong.
living in Hong Kong, and he was an international student studying in here. And what I remember in the first interaction is that they, even though it was the time of Ramadan, he would still come to the badminton club and play. And I I didn't question it at the time, you know.
Yeah, but you must have thought it was quite
Yeah,
difficult.
quite difficult, but I was impressed. But I never questioned the speech, why he did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then fast forward later on, where we had another friend that came to the badminton club, and I just when my curiosity starts to grow, and
Mm.
asking questions. Started off with silly ones at first, uh, like what if you're stuck on an island and the only thing that you can eat was pork, and the only thing that you can
Okay.
drink was
Wow.
alcohol. And then as I had then asked more and more questions,
Mm.
and it came to a point where they said, like, my knowledge is limited, but
Yeah.
you can go to a place called IDC, and then that's where I met Abu Tayyib, where
So IDC, the Islamic Diversity Center,
yeah,
is I
that's
guess
right.
like a charity Islamic awareness organization in the northeast, Newcastle, Middlesbrough. So, what you messaged them, contacted them, and met with Abu Tayyib?
Yeah, that's right. I contacted them, and I had multiple one-to-one sessions with him, and asking more questions of where is God, if there is a God, um, what is there after life, and all those also those the controversial questions of why there are people killing in the name of Islam.
Okay, well, so
Uh,
you actually she went with a lot of questions. Was
yeah,
that in Middlesbrough or was that in Newcastle?
it was in Newcastle. Yeah,
Oh, because you lived in Blythe, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I
So
remember when you came to the obviously some of the weekly classes that used to happen.
yeah, yeah,
So how did you get onto that? Did Abu Tayyib invite you along, or
yeah. So after multiple one-to-one session, he suggested that there is a course that IDC is doing, Akida courses, and so I I thought, why not? And that's when I've learned, um, the origin of who is Allah, the
hmm.
oneness of Allah, the article of faith, the messengers,
No, I
revelation.
remember you coming. I was quite impressed that somebody obviously he wasn't Muslim, but you actually came along to try and learn, and you were coming regularly every single week. But I think the course was good because like you say, it was about basics, but it also in the lesson that they ask questions, there's discussions, there's reasons why we believe certain things. So I think it was like beneficial for you to definitely come.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. It was a very good, clear foundation knowledge of the religion. By the end of the course, I didn't find any faults
Mm.
with it. But at the same time, I wasn't ready to become a Muslim yet. So, alhamdulillah, at the time after the course, there was a second level, and the second level did cover more topic of ikhlas, taqwa, sin, brotherhood, uh, and the sunnah more.
Yeah,
So I think that class has reinforced what I've learned before, and also it allowed me to see how everything fit together perfectly, and is also simple to understand.
understand and practice. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think during this time it was a good six months. I think it's just attending the course. I think you remember as well,
Yeah.
and I remember every time I attend, the there's not question from the brother was like, your brother, you've come here for 6 months now, so I think it's
Wait,
time. But
yeah, there
I
was no
didn't
like
get it.
forcing or
Yeah, there's none of that at all. I think, in fact, I feel very welcome. I already felt that I've joined the community already. So so after after the courses, I would see myself subconsciously applying the things what I've learned
hmm.
in my life. So staying away from what is forbidden, and also I
Okay, well,
even um, voluntarily fasted the whole month of Ramadan, even though um, I, I didn't need to,
but
but
you
I did
still
it
did it.
because, yeah, and it felt right. It just felt right, and right right before I became Muslim, I was just going about my daily life, and I just
Hmm.
felt, you know, about dreading about something. Um, if I didn't embrace it, embrace Islam in whatever happened to me, and I would die, I feel like I would lose something precious.
Mm. So it's like a feeling inside that you felt that okay, I think now's the time.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. So
So
with the
after
support
everything
of
you
IDs,
read and the lessons that you went to, it all came together. And then I think it was at the end of the course, right? You
from
asked
what
Abu
I
Tayyib,
remember,
yeah,
yeah,
Abu Tayyib, do you want to become Muslim? And then you did the testimony of faith, the Shahada in the class, if I remember. And then
yeah,
yeah, that was it.
alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
And I think it's really amazing that you took the effort. You asked somebody, asked questions, but it got to the point where maybe they were born Muslim or they didn't have all the answers. So you went to someone who had more knowledge, but that you regularly came to classes every single week and you know try to understand, ask questions, and try and get your answers. And I think then at the end it all came together, like you said, when you attended each of the levels. Everything made sense, and that's when you became Muslim. So
Yeah.
how was it after becoming Muslim? Did you feel like a relief, or did you feel a lot of pressure to learn a lot of new
Uh,
things? Or
Alhamdulillah, right after I feel, you know, renew, but at the same time I feel like um what's next? But
yeah, like what
alhamdulillah with the
now?
support at IDC as well that there was a like a set in stone what I have to do next. And then your, like yourself and other brothers show me how to do wudu, show me how to pray, the recitation.
Yeah,
Um, I remember when after I accepted, I feel like you there was quite a lot, but alhamdulillah, the you and the other brothers have helped me, and
definitely. I think myself, I see a huge growth in you from where you were, and then now I feel like you feel quite confident in your faith, and you've learned quite a lot, even though you may not think how much you actually know, but compared to somebody else, but you know quite a lot. So I do
alhamdulillah,
remember, we taught you, try to teach you the prayer, how to make wudu, attend lessons and classes. And how I think it was always one good thing is that you were always keen to learn. You always came and benefited. Um, you also went on the one of the retreats, if I'm correct, right?
yeah. I was going to just mention that
Yeah.
it's it's at the retreat where I actually nail down the recitation of
It's the
Surah
same for me.
Al-Fatiha.
Like
Yeah,
maybe I've been Muslim 6 months or maybe 9 months, some time. Um, but I still didn't know fully, tashahhud, the sitting down bit, and
yeah.
recitation wasn't fully there. It was only when I went to the retreat, took like 3, 4 days away from work and everything. It's every morning, every lunchtime, you're like constantly
Mm,
practicing and learning. I really got it locked down.
yeah. And also learning the knowledge as well is the brotherhood.
Yeah.
The brotherhood in Islam is. Uh, I remember before going, I was dreading like, yeah, I don't know what to
Loads of
expect.
people, yeah.
Why are these people getting so excited?
Oh yeah,
And
because they used
then
to hype it up to you, so you gotta come, man. It's really good, and
yeah, until I experienced it. Now I understand.
to be
It's
honest,
just
now
a
I thinking back, like, you came to my house. It was Eid, right?
I don't
Do you remember
know.
when you came
Yeah.
to one of my houses? It was Eid. You weren't Muslim yet,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
and
yeah,
like I just remember like everyone went to pray, and obviously you went to the kitchen and
yeah,
was maybe observing and stuff.
yeah, yeah.
That seems like so far away, like so long ago.
Subhanallah. Yeah,
That's crazy. But yeah, you came on the retreat, which is IDC do it with
Aira.
Aira, and they do it in Milton Keynes. It's a full weekend where Abdurrahim Green does lectures. There's different breakout sessions. But I think, like you said, it's two important things. It's that knowledge. We need to gain knowledge because when you gain more knowledge, you become closer to Allah. You feel more confident in your faith. But like you said, it was that brotherhood, meeting other brothers from different backgrounds, different places, and learning about their experiences and getting to know one another. And I think
Yeah.
sadly you're in Middlesbrough, so it's difficult as much. But Hamlet, whenever you would come to Newcastle and spend time with the brothers, I think it was always good.
It's always good. Yeah, and the courses as well. The ones at Milton Keynes and also each class, it gives us a very good platform for readers to share their experience and um, how they're resolving their family issue or their work issues.
Yeah,
It, it's just nice to listen what others are going through and how I could apply some of that back with my family or
definitely. I
workplace
think it's
as
like
well
hearing
and
from other
friends.
people's experiences and situations they're going through. You learn a lot, but maybe you also feel a bit. There were some people that were going through some really difficult situations,
Yeah,
and I think for us, maybe our situation was much easier. But for you, how has it been with your family? How have they been with the reaction and the change? Have they been okay with it, or was it something
So
different?
after I become Muslim, I was, scared to tell my family.
Mm,
I I started off with my brother first.
okay.
We went to a restaurant, and then I told him, and then he was looking at me. Just after I told him, he was looking at me, thinking that is this a joke? I'm just waiting for the punchline.
The punchline or something.
Yeah, and then yeah, alhamdulillah, he took it well. He just say,
Mm,
you know, whatever floats your boat. With my parents,
okay, that's good.
I thought I didn't need to be scared, and in fact, they just said, what, just whatever makes you happy. Obviously, they had
Okay.
they were worried because the image they have about Islam is what they see on the media, and also what I saw before I became Muslim. So whatever literally
Yeah.
was on
So it's
TV,
quite negative and
very, yeah. And also in Hong Kong as well, there's at that time, I've not our family or myself have interacted with Muslim. And after I become Muslim, I was told by Brother Sahil that he was doing dawah in Hong Kong. That's when I know
yeah,
there
yeah,
was a
yeah. I
mus.
remember.
That's when
Yeah.
I know there was a masjid there. For if I remember correctly, he said
Oh
was
wow. Yeah, because I remember. Yeah, there is Muslims there,
yeah. For I think if I remember
but you had no
correctly, he says
idea.
yeah, yeah. I had no idea until he told me.
Mm,
Yeah. Now now that um now I've become Muslim, there are certain things that they're still unsure about. But after um, explaining best to my ability, uh, they they sort of just say, okay, okay," and just
Yeah, I think
let me
so. Mine,
practice.
like some things they may find different, maybe strange. Like explain why you do it, and it's like they haven't got an issue with it, but obviously to them maybe it is a bit different.
Yeah, and alhamdulillah, they've been very accommodating that with food. They can just substitute some of the dishes with chicken, and I would just buy them
Mm.
the halal meat, and they would just cook it for
Okay,
me.
that's good.
Yeah. So,
Awesome. Can you're like breaking up quite a bit. Are you able to come off and come back to
um,
rejoin?
what would you like me to do? Leave the studio or something?
Yeah, can you leave the studio and if you click back on the link and join again, just that your camera's different to your audio. So cool. So inshallah, Brother Kin will be back in a second. But I think it's a really beneficial story for a lot of us to take benefit from that. You know, he went out and actively sought the knowledge. You know, he used to travel from Blythe to Newcastle to the IDC Centre, Islamic Diversity Centre, and try and learn. And that took a lot of time for him to drive and travel. And he'd come to classes every single week, but benefited from it. Brother Kin, are you there?
Alhamdulillah. Is this
Okay,
any
that's
better?
awesome. Yeah, yeah, it's better now. It was just your audio was different from the camera for a bit,
Oh,
so
okay.
but it's all
Okay.
good now. So okay,
Alhamdulillah.
yeah, so you became Muslim, you know, you started learning the basics. How was your overall experiences and what sort of advice would you give to somebody who is a new Muslim or somebody that who is new to practicing the religion from your experiences?
Uh, New to practicing Muslim, definitely if you can, ask someone and take it in steps. Don't try
Mm,
to learn everything in one go. Learn what is important, like the prayers first, and then
definitely.
because there is so much material out there, but there's good and bad, but you don't know how
Yeah.
to yet filter it. So it's best that if there's someone that you can ask them.
I think like one tip that I would have, obviously it's good to try and learn, but is if you get a teacher, it makes things so much easier.
Yeah.
So if, for example, if you're trying to learn the prayer, obviously, I know myself, I got given multiple different books. Some of them had like Arabic and then English, but I couldn't read Arabic, so that didn't work. Some of them didn't have diagrams, so I didn't understand exactly what to do. So I had all these different books I was trying to learn on my own, but when you have a teacher, he can correct you. So even though you may learn something from the book and you think you're doing it correct, but like you said, with a teacher, he can correct you, he can guide you. I think, like you're mentioning, there's so much stuff out there. He can try and hopefully guide you to what's more correct.
Yeah, and also as well that um, don't be afraid to ask questions where the knowledge is come from, because everyone's going will be wanting to tell you a lot of things, but it's important that you're learning the uh, authentic source.
Definitely, I think there's nothing wrong with in the right context. You don't want to upset people, but maybe
Yeah.
asking a question. Okay, that's interesting. Where's that from? And because otherwise, you may get told a lot of things that aren't
Mm,
from their religion. Maybe their particular cultures. Maybe they're misunderstandings that somebody had rather than what is correct. So I agree. And like you said, take it step by step. Learn at your own pace. Everybody learns differently. Some people are very quick learners. Some people are more slow. Some people visually learn. Some people learn by listening. People are different. So
mm,
try and work what best to you. But I think as well, seek out some help in your local area. So if it's in the northeast, reach out to maybe IDC or the local mosque and try and get that help, I think.
definitely.
Awesome. So, Brother King, alhamdulillah, you became Muslim, you've learned the basics. Um, if I'm correct, last year you had the opportunity to go and perform the pilgrimage to go to Mecca. What was your experiences like that? And what was your expectations of when you were gonna go? Have you ever been to the Middle East before?
Alhamdulillah, yeah. There's still lots to unpack, and I'm still reminiscing, living the moment, and
Hmm.
you know, um, before I went, I remember um, going to the courses, and I
Yeah.
remember that yeah, Allah's trying to show me a sign here, multiple of reminders of Hajj, and then alhamdulillah, after I got married, the opportunity came up to do Hajj,
Hmm.
and that was the time where I start doing research for it,
Yeah. So what was
and
your expectations when you were going to go? What were you thinking it's going to be like? You said, I know myself, you go to lots of lessons. Like I'd go to lessons about pilgrimage. But it's only when I went on Umrah, I realized like, whoa, how this really is. What was your expectations when you were going to go? Did you think it was going to be difficult? Do you think what were your thoughts?
uh, I'm not sure now. But I definitely just worried. I don't know what I'm expecting.
Hmm.
While I'm doing the research, there was quite a lot to do as well. You watch other people who've went on Hajj, their blog,
Yeah.
and both exciting and scary at the same time,
Yeah, yeah.
because you hear a story of people getting elbow, but but at the same time they explain that this is a once in a life trip
Yeah.
that you will never forget, which um, I totally agree. And the culture as well. I've never been to the Middle East, and that
That's what I'm saying, yeah, like was it different?
yeah, that was it's totally different. Yeah, and the the sound of the adhan being sound um, live is
Yeah,
that
to be honest, now I think about it,
yeah.
like that it was actually when I went myself to Mecca Medina, that was one huge thing that really hit me is like you heard the adhan like in many all over the place. And when I came back, I realized that. Like now, I think I've become desensitized again. Like I don't realize it's like normal not to hear it, but it's something there that is normal. Like sometimes it would wake me up. Sometimes it would actually be the reminder, like, oh, look, it's prayer time.
Mm,
Um, it's something like yeah, it's very beautiful and unique.
yeah, and at that time as well, as well as the unity of the ummah, we have brother and sister coming. all over the world.
Yeah.
They, from what I remember, they've all got different color depending where they're from. So I
Mm.
know that some African brothers they would have one color
Yeah, I
or
know it's like if they often like if they come in groups, they normally wear
yeah,
similar colors, like to identify them from other people. Yeah.
yeah, and then people from Malaysia, Indonesia. So it because being a Muslim in Newcastle, I just felt like like a frog in the well. But
Yeah.
until you go, it's like Subhanallah, there's all these Muslims around the world,
Yeah, like from all
all
different
in one
backgrounds,
place.
places. Yeah. I think
Yeah,
because like Hajj, I went Umrah, but Hajj it
mm,
must have been so busy and so many people.
yeah. It was so busy. One of the most memorable thing that I remember first seeing the Kaaba. We for Muslim every day, 5 times a day, you pray towards that direction,
Yeah,
and you actually go see it and pray in front of it.
I think
It-
that. Yeah,
yeah. Um. Second thing. Second thing is when when you go to the Haram, both in Mecca and also the Prophet's mosque, may peace be upon him. The
yeah,
atmosphere is it's just very it's hard to explain. It's just the peace, the relaxation, and
definitely, 100%.
me wanting to be there again.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
actually making me think back now, like because I went in 2016, and yeah, I remember that now. Actually, just that tranquility and how you just you want to go back and back.
yeah.
It's fun like
Even even after Isha prayer at the Haram, I didn't just leave. I would
that. Yeah,
just I would just sit there and just
like
read.
myself, the same. Like I felt like I had so much energy. I
Yeah,
didn't sleep a lot, but I was awake. So Hamlet would sleep a little, and then we'd wake up, and we'd midnight, 1 o'clock, we'd go down to the Haram, we'd be praying,
yeah,
reading Quran, reading books. I felt like I was so productive.
yeah,
Like there was some. It's crazy when I think about it, but the
yeah,
reality is maybe I was sleeping very little, but I felt like you said, I had a lot of energy. So after Isha, I stayed, and after
yeah.
I'd go for Fajr, I'd stay there and stay awake till the sunrise and things like that.
And the people is there as well. Um, in Mecca, I remember it was it was on Friday, time for
Mm,
Jummah.
yeah,
So I left the hotel 2 hours early, just so I thought
yeah,
I'll get there to get a good spot. Subhanallah. But even that
yeah,
time, I was out in the courtyard.
yeah. Me and brother Zain, we stayed from Fajr until till Jummah, like to get a good
Yeah,
seat. Like we stayed there, locked down, start reading. Then we got a bit of food after Fajr, then came back. But yeah, we started really early because obviously there's a lot of people, which is
yeah,
it's good, but yeah, it's crazy when you think about
yeah.
it.
And I was just trying to. They already by that time they already shut the entrances to the harem inside.
Mm,
So I was just trying to find a free spot, and I sat next to an Indonesian brother. Although we didn't speak the same language, we share the common goals of worshiping Allah.
definitely.
I will share my umbrella. He would share his water. They
SubhanAllah.
other brothers and sisters doing the same as well.
That's why I
There's a
know it's
brother.
like people that you've never met.
Yeah, it was just it was a beautiful experience because the sun was blazing down, but people were going around, like filling um like a spray bottle, just going around spray everyone
With the
water
water.
to cool
Wow.
them down. It
SubhanAllah.
felt really nice.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think here in a cold winter, it would just feel like,
yeah.
why did you do that?
Yeah, but obviously there it's actually so hot, and I remember as well like that when you get that sprinkle of water, it just feels so good.
Yeah.
Mashallah.
So that that's what's so memorable for me
Mm,
um for, from Hajj. And
mashallah,
it
yeah.
just felt like my daily life was on pause.
Mm,
There was no work to worry about. no shopping I need to worry about.
Yeah,
It just
definitely.
felt like that myself and many others are um on this quest.
Quest, yeah, like one path,
Yeah,
one objective.
yeah.
Inshallah.
It's such a beautiful experience. I would definitely go back. Inshallah.
How long did you go for? Like how many weeks?
24 days.
Wow, okay,
24
nice.
days.
So
So
after the pilgrimage, you went to Medina to stay, or
it's the other way around. We
Mecca
went
first?
to Medina first.
Okay,
Yeah.
then to Mecca.
Then to Mecca. Alhamdulillah, it was beautiful. Not only when we got to pray and visited the Prophet's mosque, may peace be upon him. We also visited the iconic site as well, uh,
Did you
Mount
visit
Uhud.
Mount Uhud? Yeah, good, good.
Yeah,
Did you go?
and
Did you go up on the little hill where do
yeah,
you know the story of the archers and things like that?
yeah, yeah,
Actually, same as well. We went. It's when you go there, you actually like see it, and it feels like you're
mm,
there, and you think
yeah,
like, whoa, like like what people actually did here.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not just like
absolutely.
a story that you read in a book. It's actual real life events.
Yeah,
And it was yeah. You also there's the graves there that you can visit and of the companions and things. It's crazy.
yeah,
One thing that
and
I found really beautiful was that when I went to the Prophet's Mosque, because I just lessons happening everywhere. I don't know if
yeah,
you saw like people learning Quran, scholars teaching. I found that was just really beautiful.
yeah. Pretty much after each prayer, there would be groups dotted around everywhere, just learning some sort, and there would be like a small sermon as well, if I remember correctly, after Maghrib or
Hmm.
Isha. Yeah,
There's often lots of lectures and talks happening. So
yeah. And over there, the culture as well. Um, over there, the culture as well that the mem the reminder, the remembrance of Allah is everywhere.
hmm.
So they've got I've been told this because I couldn't read Arabic. Someone told me that they've got Subhanallah,
Yeah,
Alhamdulillah,
there's a lot of
Allahu
things like
Akbar
that around.
written on the motor carriage signs.
Hmm. Yeah, like the
Yeah,
signs. Definitely, like I think I want to go and visit more Muslim countries, but especially in Saudi Arabia and some of the countries in the Gulf. I think you can see how it is focused around the religion, and there is
mm,
those reminders, like you said, driving around on signs in different places. You see the reminders and you see the religion. I think
yeah,
obviously for us in Newcastle, in Middlesbrough, in the northeast, where Muslims are a very small portion, and our life and the whole society isn't focused on that. It's very drastically different.
yeah. And what I've one of the thing I learned from it is well that the, the, some people have been looking forward to this chance of going to do the pilgrimage
Yeah,
uh, for most of their life. So I remember talking to one of the brother that he was waiting on a lottery draw
yeah,
in their country uh, for however many years, and that was his chance.
definitely. Because in like Indonesia, Malaysia,
Yeah,
Pakistan, maybe certain countries, because there's so many Muslims, only a certain amount can go every year. So, like you
yeah,
said, it's like a lottery system. Like you just wait for your name to come up, and it's one of that really means like if you get the opportunity to go, you've been blessed to go.
yeah,
For us in the UK, it seems like you can just go, isn't it? It's simple.
yeah,
But for many people, it's an entire lifetime they've been waiting. And even in the UK, for example, some brothers they were gonna go Umrah,
yeah,
like a month or so ago.
yeah,
They had literally a week before they were about to go, they closed Saudi Arabia because of the coronavirus.
yeah,
Despite like even the UK, they were thinking I'm definitely going, but then if Allah doesn't want you to come, you're not going to come. So
yeah,
similarly, if you do, I remember myself, I got the opportunity to go. You need to realize that you're amongst, I guess, the few. One
mm,
point over a billion Muslims, and you're amongst those few million that get to go.
alhamdulillah, yeah.
So
Definitely, it makes me, you know, appreciate. And what I will say is like I recommend people if they can is to go is to go early in their life where they're still fit and
Yeah.
also fit and can walk about.
So I think you see a
Even
lot of old people, like
yeah,
elderly, and it's like, I think it's a struggle, right?
yeah, yeah. They because I think ask yourself this like, how do you know that you will live tomorrow, or how
Yeah,
do you know that you will live even to that age before you can fulfill it?
definitely.
So if
Did you find it quite tiring? Like, did you have to put a lot of effort, maybe walking to different places, or did you find it easy?
subhanallah,
Was it made easy
I
for you, or
it made it easy. Um, it was made easy, but
mm,
now I think back, I think there was I could have taken it easy, but what I did is because on the day of Arafat,
mm,
after that day, we were due to go to Muzdalifah. There was coaches provided, but they said that it would take maybe 4 to 5 hours waiting for this
yeah?
coach
I
to
spoke to
pick
another
you
brother.
up.
He's gonna, and then he decided just to walk. Did you do the same, or
I did walk, so I asked the
yeah,
guys, "Oh, like how long does it take?" He said 40 minutes. I was like, "Okay, 40 minutes, that's doable." And then my wife and I started to walk, mashallah to her. Yeah.
it was
I hope
long?
she doesn't
No,
have
because
that
I assume it's
grudge on me.
like I remember the heat like beating down upon you probably,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Even though it's in the evening, I think it was still 36 degrees or
oh,
whatever. So we started to walk, and it was we reached the outskirt or the borders of Muzdalifah in 40 minutes, but we didn't reach our campsite. And after 2 hours, we were just lost.
so,
So, but alhamdulillah, we knew what we needed to do.
mm,
So we stayed at the area. We
yeah, yeah, yeah,
we
good.
prayed and just stayed.
Because I think it's important that you had that knowledge in order in the situation
Yeah,
now you still knew what to do.
yeah, yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
Oh, awesome, wow. Yeah, I
So
think it was.
yeah,
I think yeah. Would you? I think encourage everybody to take the opportunity to go.
yeah. I definitely, definitely renew your um, priority if you
Mm,
can. If your circumstances and if Allah wills, do it
awesome.
because it's you can do so much more. You can uh because I see there was people who was trying to do the tawaf around the
Yeah,
Kaaba, but they needed to be pushed around or they did it very slow. Mashallah to them, may Allah reward them, but do it earlier if you can.
definitely. Like I went when I would have been 20, I think 2021. Also had a lot of young energy, could do long hours. But I think if you were older, it would be a lot of
Yeah,
like it would be quite stressful. So many people pushing, shoving. So yeah,
yeah.
definitely. I think try and fill it as much as you can. So, Brother Ken, thanks for coming on. Before we go, is there any final piece of advice you would give to any of the listeners about any particular topic?
I think if you're looking into the religion, don't be scared in looking the religion. Don't just look at the media side. Look into it, and inshallah, you hopefully you find an answer.
Definitely. So, Hamlet, you also did a short video with Thunder Films. So, inshallah,
Yeah,
I'll share that in the comments. It's a half an hour video, which I think it's a bit more about your journey, a bit more about your upbringing. So the listeners can obviously watch that as well. But I want to thank you, Ken, for coming on. Hamlet, I think it's beneficial. I enjoyed listening to your story and your experiences. And brothers and
jazakallah khair.
sisters, we'll be back on Monday at 6 p.m. with a new show from which is me, Rich Cooper from Darkness to Light. But a reminder that tomorrow at 5 p.m. and Sunday at 5 p.m. the Islamic Diversity Centre (IDC) will be doing a fundraising show, so do tune in. But I want to thank you all for listening. This has been Richard Coupland and Brother Kin on From Darkness to Light. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.